make that. Woo! Today we are gonna be making a pumpkin spice swirl cheesecake. Now I know what you guys are thinking. It's not pumpkin spice season, but you know what? I don't wait for pumpkin spice season, okay? I choose to be basic all year round. First thing I'm gonna do is mix together our ginger snap cookie crumb and our graham cracker crumbs. This is its own thing. I'm definitely going against the actual recipe. I'm living on the edge, guys. So we're gonna get 1/4 teaspoon of ginger and 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Get that into our crust. Okay, let's try to do this without making a huge mess. Help us. Yes. Ugh. Yes. I'm pumpkin spice bae. That's right. Our 4th cup of granulated sugar. I love using brown sugar. So again, going against the rules of the recipe and doing a bit of my own thing. Yes. Sometimes you really have to get your hands in there and you have to get dirty. Oh, it smells amazing. I feel like I'm always smelling everything. I think I'm gonna have to melt you a little bit more. We're using melted butter. My butter is a little less melted, so I'm just gonna melt it. I feel like I might need more butter. Or maybe not. Okay. Actually, it might be okay. I'm pretty pleased about this. It actually looks really good. Okay. So there's your ginger snap cookie and graham cracker crust. Boom! It's gonna be good! We are going to move on to the actual filling. So the actual cheesecake portion. We have our beautiful crust. We're gonna put that aside and we're gonna move on. For the filling, we're gonna beat together the cream cheese and our granulated sugar. Just gonna put that together. So just so you know, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm reducing the sugar because I know this is gonna have some sugar in it. So I took out 1/2 cup of sugar so that, you know, it's not overly sweet. That's the last thing we want. We want it to be good. I broke the #1 rule of baking, okay? Which is making sure you have all the ingredients. I got it in my head. I thought I had everything. I was like, yeah, I have it in the cupboard, whatever. And then I got this out and I'm like, yeah, this works. And then to find out that I'm using the wrong thing. Actually, the recipe specifically said not to use this. So,
wow.
Yeah, cameraman, I fucked up.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Why? It specifically said not to use that?
It specifically says, I will read it to you. It says, for the pumpkin, I recommend canned pumpkin, not fresh pumpkin puree in this recipe. I like to... Who cares about your brand, bro? Shut up. Do not use pumpkin pie filling. Just whatever. This is what's happening. I know it's because it comes with the spices already and that kind of changes the recipe a little bit. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta improvise and you gotta hope for the best. So let's beat this until it's a bit creamy. Oh my god. We're doing medium to fast speed. So the next thing you need is a 1/8 cup of sour cream. The next thing we want to add is vanilla extract. So we're adding 100% real vanilla extract. Last time I had the fake stuff, but you know what? I went out, I spent the money, and I got me some totally real vanilla extract, okay? So guys, make sure you spend that extra moolah, you know? I had to do it. By the way, it's a teaspoon. So we really don't want to over mix it because that's apparently the worst thing you can do with cheesecake. The next thing we're gonna do is add some eggs. So, oh, boss. Yes, that went straight in the garbage, by the way. Swish, swish. Alright. Egg numero.
That did not go straight in the garbage.
No, it did not.
Callie's like ready to lick it dry.
Please don't.
Callie!
Hey.
Callie!
Oh god, the cat's trying to eat it.
Oh.
No! Callie, no! Get out of here! Do you see what happens when you get cocky? Alright, third one, I'm gonna try to calm down. Alright. There you go. 2 out of 3 isn't bad, right? Woo! So here goes egg 1. And you beat in egg 1. Now time for egg 2. Boom! Get that nice mix in there. Get it nice. Woo! And let's get egg number 3. I feel like I overdid it a little bit. So we're gonna scoop out 2 cups of batter. Oops. Oh no. Oh my god, you're the worst can opener in the world! Okay. There we go. It's not the worst. It's the worst. So here's 1 cup. Now we're gonna mix together the cream cheese and the pumpkin puree, or pumpkin filling, again, in my case. In my sad case, Jesus, what would Chef Gordon Ramsay even say? He'd be ashamed of me. Oh, and we also should throw in our spices right about now as well. So we're using pumpkin spice. Actually, oh my god, look at my thumb. That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad at all. If the batter tastes good, I always think there's gonna be help. So we're gonna put 1.5 teaspoon of pumpkin spice in here, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. So we're just gonna throw those both in there. Those are our pumpkin spices. We need that. They're important. So we have our pumpkin. We have our crust, and we have just a plain cheesecake part. And so we're gonna alternate with putting in the fillings, and we're also gonna give them a nice swirl. Okay, you just wanna. Okay. Oh. Oh. The struggle. Oh. This bowl is so heavy. Honestly, like, why you gotta be so heavy? Why you gotta be so heavy? I can barely hold you up. You a big ass bowl, big ass bowl. Okay, I'm done. I hope this looks nice, like, and swirly. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. This is definitely not working out. It's not doing it. No, this ain't it. I feel like this is gonna be less of a swirl and more of like a layer. So the other thing this calls for is a water bath. And this is so that it cooks a little evenly without any cracks. Yeah, this is actually quite a lot of steps and a little tad bit complicated. Not too much, but like it's got a lot going, you know? So for the water bath that I'm going to attempt, which I've never done before, you have to boil some water. We're gonna have to wrap this. Okay. So let's see if this works. So I've put the cheesecake in its water bath and I've put it in the oven for 55 to 70 minutes. I put 70 minutes, but I'm gonna check up on it. So I'm gonna put a toothpick in the middle of it to see if it's cooked thoroughly. And you know what? I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna bake this and I'm gonna go to bed and put it out on the cooling rack, and we're gonna come back tomorrow and deal with this cake. See what it looks like in the daylight. So we will be back tomorrow. We're in a whole new decade. There's no more cheesecake. Cake's over there. Looks good, right? What? You don't go to bed with a full face of makeup? Whatever. Don't act like you still don't do this. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I don't know what you're thinking. I really don't.